This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
With construction delayed, the Moses Lake School District is now faced with the reality that bond plans need to change due to increased cost. Fallen Grant County firefighter Dan Deshawn was honored Monday by Representative Dan Newhouse on the U.S. House floor.
The electric highway in Washington state now spans through Ephrata.
Moses Lake Chiefs girls basketball had their first state playoff game last night when they took on Woodinville High School in Ellensburg.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
With construction delayed, the Moses Lake School District is now faced with the reality that bond plans need to change due to increased cost. Due to a variety of factors, including the election lawsuit keeping the district from selling bonds, $135.3 million in construction bonds isn't enough to move forward with current designs for a second high school and a new elementary school. The designed 240,000 square foot high school, estimated to cost about $80.8 million in total construction costs if the project were to start as planned in 2019, is now projected to cost about $5 million more. Superintendent Josh Meek said the cost to build the district's 11th elementary school has increased by nearly $700,000.
When that happens, it puts the district and the planning of that in a really interesting position, because it's what do you do? And so your options are to either cut back the project, build smaller schools, or really be in a position to have to rethink kind of what you're doing. That's one of the challenges that our board is facing right now, is how do you accommodate for that? How do you plan for that? And at the same time, doing the right solutions for students in our community.
A decision from a state appeals court on a lawsuit challenging the bond election results is expected by March 15th. But both sides, the petitioners and Grant County, have hinted at further review of the case to the state Supreme Court. Meek said there are still many unknowns for the future of the bond, but the district needs to plan if more delays come.
At some point, as a school district and as a community, we may have to decide to run a new bond just as a replacement of this altogether, because if it's going to be the question of, do you sit and wait out a 2-year potential Supreme Court case, or do you run a new bond and just kind of leave this one in the past and move forward? So,
this is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Maytag and the family Pooch have a lot in common. Both are loyal, both aim to please, and both are tenacious dish cleaners. But only one can sanitize. Maytag, what's inside matters.
Maytag appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
Fallen Grant County firefighter Dan Deshawn was honored Monday by Representative Dan Newhouse on the U.S. House floor. Deshawn, a battalion chief with Grant County Fire District 13 and captain with Grant County Fire District 5, died January 8th after an industrial accident at Moses Lake Industries. He was just 39 years old.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor the life and service of Grant County Fire District Battalion Chief Dan Deshawn of Moses Lake, Washington. Dan passed away on January 8th, 2018. Dan was a husband, a father, a friend, and a highly respected fire service member. His love of firefighting and his dedication to his community was evident in his 15 years of volunteer service at both the Grant County Fire District 13 as well as District 5, where he eventually secured his dream job of shift captain. Local firefighters, members of his team, and the community will remember him for his leadership, humility, and commitment to keeping the citizens of Grant County safe. My prayers and sincere condolences go out to his family and his friends and all those affected by his passing during this difficult time. I urge all my colleagues to join me in thanking Dan Deshawn for his inspirational life of service to Washington State and the 4th District. And I thank you, and I yield back.
This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
The electric highway in Washington state now spans through Ephrata. 2 new electric charging stations were installed recently on the north side of the Moore Furniture Building next to the Confluence Health Ephrata Clinic. The charging stations were paid for by Confluence Health to cater to medical staff and patients who drive electric vehicles. Ephrata City Councilman Matt Moore says the electric vehicle chargers also attract out-of-town tourists venturing out to Sun Lakes.
And a lot of folks, particularly as we enter the summertime, are going to be on longer road trips, maybe going up to see the dams, maybe going up to the lakes, and to have a spot between here and there for them to spend the afternoon to stop and have have their lunch or have their dinner here, maybe stop and have a look at some furniture. That's fine too. It's going to be neat. It's going to be not tremendous, but it will have an impact and benefit to the town in general, I think.
The charging stations are the first in Ephrata, but there are several charging stations in the Columbia Basin. Soap Lake has one in Smokayam Park, Moses Lake has 4 different charging locations, and the Quincy, George area has 5. I'm Sean Goggins for iFIBER 1 News.
Moses Lake Chiefs girls basketball had their first state playoff game last night when they took on Woodinville High School in Ellensburg. After entering halftime with a Chiefs lead of 44-29, Woodinville came storming back in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Woodinville closed the gap and at one point even passed Moses Lake. Near the end of the game, star Jamie Lawetta had the ball with the shot clock winding down. Instead of taking the shot herself, she passed the ball to an open teammate, Kiara McPartland, who took a long 2-point shot which she drained, giving Moses Lake the lead. Woodinville never saw the lead from that point forward. After the game, Lawetta explained why the Chiefs were able to stay so calm during Woodinville's run.
Coach Trophy always tells us that when we play these good teams, they're going to go on runs. And so when they go on runs, we have to stay at our level and we have to execute on offense, get back on defense. All these great teams from here on out are going to definitely go on runs, but we're ready for it.
Moses Lake will next play at the Tacoma Dome at 9 a.m. Thursday, March 1st. The Chiefs' opponent won't be decided until the day before. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.